Hi, this is Mamoso May. You're tuned into NepoXchange Podcast.
Welcome to episode 2 of the NepoXchange Podcast, a platform that connects you to insights, people, and conversations that are shaping our world. We are all about access, and that means giving young people information to navigate their journeys. Today, we have with us a trailblazer, Mamoso May, who's the Executive Director of Artemis Group Holdings. With her extensive experience in renewable energy and leadership, she's driving innovation and sustainability within the sector. We are excited to be diving into her journey and insights, as well as the future of wind energy. Welcome, Mamoso.
Thank you very much, Koketo. I'm really, really honored to be here.
We're excited to have you, and we're about to have an exciting conversation. We'll start very lightly with icebreakers as well. So I'm going to start, and then you'll just answer. I'll give you an idea of how the games work so that obviously you and I can get to know each other and sort of relax. So the first one we're going to start with is called a this or that. And here I'm giving you 2 options, and then you choose one. So the first one is beach or bush?
Bush.
Okay, and why?
I love the bush. I've lived all my life in Johannesburg with no mountain or ocean, and I've come to appreciate the bush, and I love animals as well. I really love animals. So being out there actually brings some peace.
All right. Okay, no, that makes sense. So I'm a village girl, so I always say to people, please don't take me camping. Don't take me. I don't want anything. I grew up seeing the bush so many times. So I just want to be in the beach. I just want luxury now. It's good. It's enough.
Sometimes being in the beach and getting dirty, all that sand, it's just too much work.
Okay, no, I understand. And then tea or coffee?
Tea.
Okay, all right.
After 12.
When it's hot?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And then yoga or meditation?
Meditation.
Okay, all right, okay. And what does meditation do for you?
I think a lot of the time I have quite a busy mind. And meditation sort of settles my thinking and focuses me into the direction I need to go to. And sometimes gives me the answers I need for the issues or questions I have in my life, in my work. It's helpful.
All right. As a person who struggles with anxiety, maybe it's something I should get into.
It is.
I must look at it. And then jazz or hip hop?
Hip hop, definitely.
Okay, what's your favorite hip hop song?
I have a couple.
Okay, so maybe give me your top 3.
Method Man.
Okay, of course.
MC Light.
Okay.
And this one is a tough one. Oh. Eminem, Dr. Dre, somewhere there.
Okay, I mean they're like they come as a pair sometimes, so I mean it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense. Okay, all right, okay, cool. And then Springboks or Proteas?
Springboks.
Look, of course. City life or countryside?
City life, definitely.
Okay. All right, okay.
The convenience of being able to zip to places quickly is nice.
And that's the thing about the city. It really does afford you with convenience to navigate around. Okay, so now we're going to get into our next one, which is called 2 truths and a lie. So you're going to give me 2 truths about you and 1 lie. I must guess which one is a lie.
Okay.
So let's do this. Let's see how well I do.
All right, let me think.
Hopefully our audience will help me and let's see if we get it right.
Let me think.
Okay.
A truth, and a lie. Let me start with I love parties.
Okay.
I love to party, get down every weekend. I'm out there.
Okay.
I enjoy public speaking.
Okay.
And finally, I'm a biker.
Okay. All right. Okay, so this is gonna be very difficult because last week I recently met Mamoso at Africa Energy in Daba last week, and I think you did mention that The second one, what is the second one?
I love public speaking.
You said you don't like public speaking.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I did.
So is that the lie?
Yes.
I actually thought partying was going to be a lie.
That's the biggest lie.
But you see, I'm so glad that I remembered from the conversation last week that you did say that you don't like public speaking. We shouldn't have met. I got it right. But at least I got it right. That's exciting. Okay. So the next one, we're going to play One Must Go. So I'll give you 3 or a few options, and then you choose which one goes. So the first one is between solar, wind, and hydro energy. Which one?
Are you going to ask me why afterwards? Because I don't know why is going to be the difficult part.
Okay.
These are all
Let's see how your answer
choices.
goes. I'll decide if we let it slide.
Go. I would say solar.
Oh. Okay, why? I'm offended.
I know you are. I knew it.
As a Nepoworx, advocate and ambassador, I'm offended. Why solar?
I think for me, it's about level of interest.
Oh, okay.
For me.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
So from an interest point of view, I'm always interested in wind, and hydro is quite fascinating, and solar is also fascinating, but not as fascinating as the other two.
Okay, that's fair enough. So the young ones on social media always says they were getting their keyboard ready. So I was getting my keyboard ready to fight and argue with you.
me.
But you know what? I feel that's Twitter. A very fair enough reason that, in terms of interest, these two take more precedence, and that's fine, and that's okay. That's fair. Okay, so the next one is between movies, books, and podcasts. Which one do you prefer?
I would say movies.
Okay. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? Oh my goodness, I don't know if I should say this. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That's fine. I'm so embarrassing, but it is one movie that's fascinating. It's what you
like. It was also one of my favorites, especially growing up. It was my favorite
book as well. Okay. So growing up, I love the movie. I can watch it over and over and over again.
All right, that's exciting. Okay, so I'm gonna get into what we call mean tweets, or rather stereotypes about industry. So I'm gonna get into one about our industry, and this one says renewable energy is just a trend; it won't last. What are your thoughts on this?
I think people are misinformed. I think everything starts as a trend. When Henry Ford designed the car, everybody probably thought riding around in horse carriages, oh, that's a trend. And look where we are now. We're even thinking of battery-powered cars, electric-powered cars.
Exactly.
So I think the renewable energy will evolve definitely. This is not where it ends. We'll get bigger, better, faster, and more efficient renewable energy technologies. So I don't think it's a trend.
Okay, I like that, and I agree. And the next one is wind farms are just giant fans cooling down the planets. People really say mean things out there, and some of the stereotypes are just...
I have heard that one before.
Is it? People have said that?
Yeah. People have said that. And I suppose it boils down to education. And there's not enough. I think we need to do more to educate the public about what wind energy does and what those big fans actually do and why they don't have stage 25 load shedding.
Exactly.
I think there's a lot of work to be done around educating the general public around the basics of renewable energy, more than just solar. There's wind, there's hydro.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, all right, no, interesting. And I agree with you as well on that one. So the next one, I know we normally call it a bucket list, but actually one of our previous guests helped me in terms of the right word that's, more relaxed and doesn't make you feel like,
under
the
pressure.
buckets and anything. They call it a ticket list. So what's on your ticket list? What would you say is something that you really want to do before, or what's on your ticket list?
Before I go to my next life?
Yes.
I would say I've always wanted to go. I'm a good Catholic.
Okay.
I've always wanted to go to Rome.
Oh.
That's one of the things.
Okay.
And the other one is in the US. What is it? Grand Canyon.
Okay. All right. Okay. No, that's fine. I also wanna. Okay. All right. No, interesting. Okay. And then the next few ones is just to get to know you as we move on to our next segment. So if you could have dinner with any historical figure, who are the top 3 people you'd say you'd
Only
have
3.
dinner with? Okay, maybe throw me
4.
with. Okay, yeah.
I'll
We're
have-
cheating, but it's fine. Let's add the 4th
You
one.
must always negotiate. Everything is negotiable.
Okay, I'll let you have it. I'll let you have it.
Jesus, Krishna, Muhammad, and Buddha together.
Okay. So if we were to choose one person on that list and say, what would you want to ask them? The first question you ask them, who would it be and what would you ask?
I think I would ask Buddha first.
Okay. What do you want to ask?
I would like to know if this is what he thought the modern world would become.
Okay. I do understand why you want to meditate. I feel like you really do. You really do sort of think a lot, and but I do like that you really think about a lot of things, and your mind wanders. I can see
It does
that.
a lot.
I can see that. That's such a good trait. And what would you say is the one thing that people don't know about you?
The one thing that people don't know about me is that I am an introvert. I know, look at your face.
Coming back from talking about how your mind wanders, even the public speaking thing, I cannot believe that you say that you are not a public speaker.
I'm introvert.
Okay.
Mostly introverted and can be extroverted,
Okay.
but mostly introverted.
Okay.
So I sometimes enjoy my own company.
All right. Okay. And I think it's good also to spend a bit of time with ourselves once in a while. Yeah. And what would you say is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best piece of advice I've ever received was keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. Don't try and make things difficult for others to read. And the more simple it is, the easier it is to sell the idea or to talk to somebody about it. You've broken it down into its molecular structures, so it's easy for people to process that information. So sometimes it's easier to keep things simple and not be so esoteric.
Okay. I like
level.
that. One of my first managers used to say, don't give people homework. And I like that. It's like whatever you do, if you are sending the next person, if it's a job you need to do, don't now have the next person work on it again.
No, exactly.
If you are giving people information, customers or whatever, make sure that they don't need to go through hurdles to get to the
with an
stuff.
instruction manual.
Yes,
how to read
just
my
don't
work.
give people homework. They've done enough when they were in school.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, okay. And what would you say if you went in the renewable energy space? Which career would you have embarked on?
I would have been a meteorologist.
Okay.
I so much enjoyed weather patterns and that kind of how they impact humanity, and now with climate change, but I sucked.
Okay. I think you're still in the same space of climate work. You're still in the same space of green energy, environment, climate work. I like that though.
Sort of, but
like
my
that.
physics was not, maybe it's not me. Maybe I should blame the teacher.
Maybe we'll blame. Sorry, teacher. Sorry, teacher. We don't blame you. Okay. So I just want to now dive into getting to know you a bit more further. Please just take me through your childhood. What was it like growing up, and where did you grow up?
I was born in Soweto.
Okay.
I went to primary school in Parktown.
Okay.
Only family. High school was in boarding school, Kimberley Girls High.
Okay.
I think my family has always been quite ambitious. My mom was ambitious, my dad, and I think that, my mom was always my inspiration, her work ethic, her just resilience. She was a nurse, like back when I was younger, a nurse at Baragwanath, so, and then progressed through the ranks. And that was something that I looked up to all the time. You know, that she always, I don't know, silently pushed me. So yeah, that's my life.
Okay. It sounds like your mom had quite a great influence on you from what you're sharing now, especially saying that you always just felt like she pushed you even though it wasn't direct.
Yeah.
What would you say are some of the best, like top tip advice that she gave you?
She says, this is her favorite one. She says, the truth does not break friendship.
Okay.
And she says that I think her main one is around honesty and integrity. And making sure that you say what you mean and you mean what you say, and to try and also to humble. She's as strict as she's been. She's always been somebody that people could come to and talk to, and she could help anybody. So I try to embody that kind of behavior in every day that I come across people. If I can help, I'll help. But definitely to try and be humble and look inside.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, coming back now to more like current day, you've been in so many boardrooms, you've built so many people, built so many careers, and then now you are executive director at Artemis Group. What would you say after all of that is said and done, when you get home to unwind and to just woosa yourself from the day? What would you say are some of the things you do to unwind?
Mindless TV watching.
Okay.
Especially crime.
Of course, a lot of us ladies love our crime documentaries.
Yeah.
There's just something about that. I think it just gives you an escape from your reality. I think that's the exciting
There are people with bigger problems than
you. Okay, we spoke about your favorite movie, which is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. What would you say then is your favorite book or podcast?
My favorite book is The Alchemist. Okay. Also a very deep, soul-searching type of book. Very much thought-provoking. And it's sort of aligned with how I have evolved in my spiritual journey. Okay. And it was quite a nice read.
Right, okay. I think you're also just giving, as much as you said your mind wanders, I think you're also just very mindful as in terms of how you navigate life and the things that you do. From the conversations we are having, it's giving me that. And then are you into any sports or outdoor activity besides meditating? Because obviously that you do indoors.
My husband is a sports fan.
Okay.
He watches absolutely everything.
And then do you also...
I'm
watch
just
when
a
somebody's
support.
Yes,
I'm there for support. Except the rugby. The rugby I'll go and watch at the stadium, but everything else is in the Olympics.
Okay, all right.
But definitely not a big sports fan. Plus, I have lots of injuries from sports in schools.
So you're like, I'm good. Leave it to the professionals.
I'm too old. I can't break bones.
Okay. All right. Okay. And if you could acquire any skill not overnight, but like overnight, what would it be?
Programming.
Okay.
I have so many ideas.
Okay.
Like of things that could make things easier. But because I can't do it myself, I would love to learn how to do it and to do that for myself. I mean, I change my mind all the time. So this programmer, if I employ them, they'll be very upset with me.
They'll be like, okay, are we still working on this now? Or do we need
Have you changed your mind?
What is it? What do we need to do? Okay. But I feel like that's a start. Like maybe briefing somebody and be like, get used to me and my briefing processes.
I mean, I can wake up. I mean, overnight I thought of something, but we can do it better. Let's try it this way. So it does become quite difficult for some.
Okay, no, that's fair. I understand. What would you say your university experience was like?
It was great, I think. Coming from boarding school, I learned a lot of independence. So a lot of the things I was doing by myself, I didn't feel like I needed advice from my mom or that kind of thing, family or consulting with this person. Um, I was working while I was at university. I had two jobs, and still achieved the high marks that I wanted to achieve. So I was in a good space. Basically. I was really comfortable. I was happy, and I was focused.
Okay. All right. So sounds interesting. Speaking of now having two jobs as well as getting good marks and making sure that you maintain that, would you say that's part of the things that propelled you into your leadership? Or maybe let me rephrase the question to say, did you know that you always wanted to be a leader or
Yes.
be in leadership? Okay.
Even at primary, I'm not primary, high school, I always knew that I wanted to be a leader. I also wanted to create things or spaces where jobs can be created. I wanted to be part of that activity. So I also set up goals and timelines in my mind. When I will do this, when I will do this, when I will do this.
So you're very organized
Yes,
as well. Okay.
yes, very much so.
Okay, all right, okay, interesting. And what would you say was the defining moment, or yeah, like the defining moment that said, or how was it like joining the renewable energy? How did you get into the industry?
I've always been in kind of engineering, manufacturing type of spaces. I enjoy being an accountant as a basic education. I enjoyed being in spaces where I can see, feel, and touch things and see how they work. I want to understand how processes work, how they manufacture, why they put those processes. So renewable energy, 12 years ago, was starting up in this country, and I wanted to be part of this new industry with new challenges and try and navigate that.
Okay. All right, okay. And so being one of the people that, from what I'm hearing also, that you started from the top, like you know that it started 12 years ago. So being one of the people that sort of shaped this, what would you say are some of the misconceptions about the industry, but also about being a CEO? So I'm putting two questions in one. The misconceptions about the industry, I think we sort of touched on it earlier, like with the stereotypes, but also what would you say are some of the top misconceptions? And I know we spoke about disinformation as well, then the misconceptions about being a CEO.
I think from the outside, it might seem that the industry is not a supportive environment, but I must say, in my 12 years, I've come across some of the most phenomenal people, helpful, supportive. In certain instances, we were struggling together, and trying to navigate this space, this new stuff, all these laws, all these contracts, and working through them together. I found that there is some kind of camaraderie among the people that work in the industry. And what was your second question?
So
The misconceptions about
yes.
the CEOs don't work. They just attend meetings and breakfast.
They just delegate.
And delegate. But the difficult part is people don't realize that everything is part of the strategy. And coming up with that strategy is a time-taking risk management process that you undertake as a CEO. As a CEO, the buck stops with you. So sometimes people think that being a CEO is about always taking the glory and never taking the losses. But there are so many more losses and failures that are not, we don't show to the team or to the staff, and you take it on the chin and you move on, and you just need to be able to be resilient like that, to be able to take the wins and let your team shine. And when they drop the ball, you need to, as a CEO, you need to take the brunt of that. And that's something that sometimes doesn't come across quite clearly.
Okay. No, I like that. And the reason why I say I like that is also because everybody, and I think it's like the body. There's every part of the body serves its different role.
Yeah.
You've paid your dues, and obviously now as a CEO, I feel like you guys don't even sleep. Most CEOs don't even sleep. But also on top of that, as somebody, my main professional major is public relations, right? And I know the importance of relationship building. So those coffees and meetings and networking sessions, that's what we champion more, because that's where the decisions and the strategies and all of these things come together and obviously come to life. So keep doing your thing. So I'm just getting into our closing segment, as we are almost about to wrap up, and I just want to know, what's the one thing that you wish young people understood about leadership?
I think, this leadership journey is a long one. You go through this whole evolution. I think particularly as a woman, you go through this process where you're thinking, I need to act like a man leader or something like that. But you need to know who you are. More than anything, you need to know who you are and what you stand for. If you are going to be a leader that's going to be leading a team and inspiring them, they need to know what you're about. Even when you're there, they need to always understand that maybe this is something that Kokezo won't accept. This is something Kokezo would probably... They need to know what you stand for. Understanding yourself and who you are and what you stand for. And also just being patient. That everything sort of comes together somehow. But be patient with yourself. Be patient with your teams. I think it's important to also communicate clearly.
Okay. I like that, and what I like about what you're saying is that as we are recording this within the month of International Women's Month, and there's a lot of celebrations and a lot of discussions and all these meetings that we're having, but what stands out is that, like what you just said now, that just be yourself. You don't need to want to be a leader because you want to obviously tailor make it like a man.
Exactly.
But rather just be you and follow you. I really, really like that. And what advice would you give to somebody who's trying to break into the renewable energy industry?
Wow.
Especially young entrepreneurs that are trying to get into the industry.
I think it's important to be involved in industry events and conferences and that kind of thing. Industry associations often have sort of events that are
networking events.
And try and put your foot forward. Don't wait for people to come to you. Nobody's going to come to you. If you are not going to bang on the door, nobody is going to open the door for you. And you need to, I don't mean it in a violent way, by the way. I mean, just be there, be in the spaces, the right spaces, and also just reach out to people. As I said, the renewable energy, the people in the space are the most open people I've met. And reaching out to some of them on LinkedIn and having a chat, that's also something that you could do. How do you do? What are the challenges? Because sometimes when you are an entrepreneur and wanting to sort of penetrate a space that you are not actively operating in, you might not understand some of the nuances that prevent certain things from happening or prevent your business from advancing into that space. So you need to speak to people who are in that space to help you to craft your product or to shape your product in a way that will allow you to enter that space.
And for our last question, if you could leave our audience with one powerful thought, what would it be?
I've got an extract from a book I read, Conversations with God, which was profound for me, by Neil Walsh. It says, "A true master is not the one with the most students, but one who creates the most masters. A true leader is not one with the most followers, but one who creates the most leaders. A true king is not one with the most subjects, but one who leads the most to royalty. A true teacher is not one with the most knowledge, but one who causes the most others to have knowledge."
Okay. All right.
I thought that was profound.
Okay. I hope our audience got it there. But that's very, very profound and very beautiful. So let's go create more leaders, more teachers, more masters out there.
More royalty.
More royalty. Thank you so much for joining us. We do have a gift for you. just a little token of our appreciation, and excuse the pun on it when you see it.
Thank you so much.
Right,
Can I open it here?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I like present opening. Who wrapped this gift? Huh?
It's not me. Don't look at me.
Ooh, a power bank.
Yes, but
I always need one.
You have to read the message on it.
Where's the message?
We personalized it just
you personalized
for you.
this. Others drain, you charge. Oh, this is awesome.
So
this
I know
is
it's a bit corny, but
it's very corny, but I like it.
It's exactly that, So as you continue on your journey, especially of mindfulness, may you always be recharged.
Thank
but
you.
Also, excuse the pun in terms of us people in the renewable energy. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you for joining the NepoXchange Podcast. Please do look out for the next episode on our YouTube platform, as well as our Spotify and all other podcasting platforms. Please also follow us on our social media. It's Nepoworx on all platforms. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Thank you for joining us. Have a good day.